Today we are out at a property in Allen. We're doing a property assessment. Today we have Preston here and he's handling our inspection. So what he's doing right now is we're assessing the roof for hail damage. What he's gone and he's marked out what's called a test square. So it's a 10 foot by 10 foot section. So you can kind of see this bottom square up here. 20 up is another square. 10 shingles over is the next edge. And about where our gentleman's feet are, he's got the edge. So what we're looking for is 8 hail hits within this test square, or 10 by 10 area, 100 square feet. 8 is the magic number for a directional plane to be considered totaled. So not just this slope, but any slope facing this way is included in this damage assessment. We're going to do this on all 4 sides. Once we break 51%, the industry standard is insurance companies then deem that home to be totaled. So we're about to get that taken care of. Next, what we're going to show you guys is a little bit about the chimneys and the flashings, the detail work, and after that we'll show you a few more things. All right, now we're here at the chimney. So this is our chimney cap. So we've gone ahead and marked it with chalk. We use soapstone. It'll wash off in about 24 hours, 48 the most, with the morning dew. What you can see here is these little circles, that's hail damage. So we got some hail damage here. The chimney chase itself really doesn't look like sustain too much damage, just a little bit. It is older, it is aged. You can tell by the paint wearing. It's been reused a few times by the nail holes. Moving to the siding itself, you can see that the stain of the paint is all but gone. You can see some of the hail wash on it. At a minimum, I'm really going to recommend these trim boards need to be replaced, painted, ideally hardy board. That stuff's fantastic. But this is what I really care about. This is what's important to me. So this is your chimney flashing. Your roofs don't generally leak in the middle of a roof. They leak from some type of penetration. So what you can see here is you can actually see the rust buildup. This is the city of Allen, so they have IRC, the International Residential Building Code, well IRC and IBC, and it dictates that if there's any rust and any flashings, it needs to be replaced. So per city code, this flashing needs to be replaced because it's rusted. And how we do that, we're going to take off the trim boards, take off the siding, have the roof removed. We'll replace this with all new metals. All these little pieces here called step flashings. They're 4 inches tall, 4 inches wide, about 8 to 10 inches long. We're gonna replace all of that. Same way around the back side, just wrap the entire thing. We'll put all the siding back. If it's an insurance claim, or even if it's not, any boards that are damaged through the process, we cannot and will not reuse. We're only gonna put good stuff back. When it's an insurance claim, we can work with them and point these things out to them. 9 times out of 10, they approve it to be a part of the claim. Everyone's policy's, different. We're not public adjusters. We don't know how policies actually, we're not legally allowed to talk about how that handles. So we're just going to inform the insurance company what we're seeing, what the city requires of us, and let them make their own decision. But that's what we have here for the chimney. Next, we're going to move on to some fencing, some gutters, some siding, some more stuff for you. All right, one more quick thing before we get down. So in this valley, the building code, IRC, dictates that something has to be in these valleys as a membrane. On this home, the previous roofer decided to use metal. We're fans of ice and water shield, and let me show you why. We talked about how the city code said if any metals on the roof are rusted or deteriorated, they have to be replaced. Well, in this case, we've got rust on this valley liner, so it should be in all the valleys. So when we replace this roof, we're gonna have to remove all of these valleys, put in the ice and water shield, and go back. So that's another key area where we have leaks is penetrations and in our valleys. So we want the most protection there. All right, let's talk about windows and window screens starting off. So when we're doing a property assessment, we're gonna take a look at your windows, make sure all of the internals are good, the glass doesn't have any damage, frame looks good. In this case, this window screen is probably original to the home. Got a hail hit down here, so that's what that impact is there. This is possibly some as well. Could be just like a tool, there's something scraping against it, but that's most definitely hail damage there. So all in all, that window looks good other than the window screen. Now we're gonna take a look at the fascia and the soffit. The fascia is what you see here, the soffit is on the bottom. The soffit looks pretty good. The brick frieze, which is the board on the back of the brick. The fascia itself, you can see it's got some wear and tear to it. It's the older material that's kind of that masonite, think of like really thick cardboard. Great stuff, very affordable. Pros and cons to everything. We love hardy board. Really want to have this happen with it. What we recommend here is going through and doing some minor repairs, cutting out some bad sections that are rotten, and then repainting just the fascia itself. I don't think the soffit would be necessary. It'll blend nice and look good. And that's all for this, and we got a few more things to show you real quick. All right, now we've arrived at the fence. So with this fence, it's definitely aged. You can tell that there used to be some stain on it. It's not really much prevalent, but we can still tell that there's these what are called pock marks, hail hits. In some instances, it looks like someone took a shotgun with bird shot and just blasted your fence. Is a lot of times what you'll see. With this fence specifically, due to its age and its condition, I'm probably going to recommend that it needs to be replaced. What can be done, and probably buy you a few years, is to have this pressure washed and stained. That's actually going to help protect the internals, stop the rot, and again, like I said, buy you some time till you need to have this fence ultimately replaced. All right, we're almost done. So here we have the garage door. In this case, it's definitely been weathered by the sun, but there's no hail damage, there's no storm damage. What we do have over here, though, again, going back to siding wood, definitely need to get that replaced. It's starting to rot out, starting to warp. It'll start getting in the way of the door track. We're almost done. Quick, come. All right, so the last thing I got for you is the AC unit. So this is an older style unit. It doesn't have the case that protects all the way. Like I said earlier, pros and cons to everything. Con here is, you can see these are hail hits. Possibly, there's two routes to go here. We have our HVAC tech come out. He can comb these out and get it back to performing at its appropriate ranges. Most likely with the age and the damage that you have here, we'll get the internal radiator, the screen itself, replaced so it's brand new and working within those proper parameters. Appreciate you hanging out and sticking with it through the whole video. That's all I got for you. Shawn with Epic. Thanks.